my name is Alyssa Adams and I'm the executive chef for Roth Living, the Sub-Zero showroom in Salt Lake City. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna be making everyone's favorite food, and if it's not your favorite food, it should be pizza. It is my favorite food. I love making pizza at home, but typically when you make pizza at home, it never tastes quite the same as those pizzerias. And the main reason is because home ovens typically don't have the capability of getting up to the really high temperatures of an industrial pizzeria style oven. However, with Wolf, specifically the stone mode and the electric ovens, they have given us the ability to replicate those really high temperatures and create that beautiful crispy crust with the fluffy crust. It's incredible. So we're gonna be focusing on the electric E-Series oven in my dual fuel range and specifically the stone mode. But before we can bake the pizza, we have to make the dough, the foundation, the base, the heart and soul of a pizza. So I'm gonna teach you guys a fun little trick, and that is making the dough in a food processor. The reason this is so cool is it does all the work for you. This is going to replicate the kneading process, and it's gonna happen so much quicker than taking 10 minutes of hard labor kneading a dough and building up all the gluten. So, food processor bowl, I've actually got it on a food scale. Very important when you're making a dough to use measurements of weight versus volume, because we're gonna get a much more accurate result. So I've got my scale here, it is tared out to 0, and I'm just gonna start pouring my ingredients into my food processor bowl. What I've got here, and again, we are making a New York style dough here with our pizza stone mode. We are able to replicate that sort of brick oven effect in our ovens. So this dough just tends to be really, really good, okay? So I'm trying to get about 22 ounces of flour, and that right there, that was almost the entire thing, perfect, is our 22 ounces of flour, okay? So let me shimmy it out. We've got a little bit of flour mess everywhere, but that's fine. If you're not getting a little floury mess, you're not doing it right. Flour in the bowl, and now I'm going to add some sugar. It's gonna be about ½ an ounce of sugar is what I'm going for. This is gonna help us get a really nice browning on our crust and a little bit of sweetness. If you were doing a Neapolitan style of dough, you wouldn't add any sugar, but the pizzeria, New York style pizzas, they add a little bit of sweetness to their crust. Then we're going to add our yeast. That's going to be about 3.35 ounces, okay? And then finally we are going to add our salt, and here I want, again, about 0.35 ounces. So probably right there, okay? So that is all of our dry ingredients. Now I'm gonna put it onto the bowl of my food processor. Try not to make too much of a mess. Get this guy out of the way. And now we're going to just pulse this to combine all those dry ingredients before we add our wet. Letting all that yeast and sugar and salt kind of combine. All right, and now we're gonna slowly add our wet ingredients. Well, that's a lie, we're just gonna add them all at once. So I've got 16 ounces of room temperature or cold water here. And I like to add cold water because I am going to do a long, low and slow ferment process for this dough. We've got that, and then we are just going to add 3 tablespoons of a nice extra virgin olive oil, okay? And this is gonna give us, again, a nice browning and suppleness to our dough. So I'm gonna let this go for about 15 seconds until it turns into a ball, kind of scraping around the sides of the bowl, and then I'm gonna let it go for 15 more seconds, and that's important because that is gonna replicate our kneading time. So here we go. Beautiful. That was the complete bringing of the dough together and the extra 15 seconds, okay? It's not too sticky. You can see here it's come together nicely. And again, this is me giving you all the tricks for the easiest pizza dough at home. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull this out onto my bench, okay? We're gonna let that dough come out. You know what, let's use a little bit of that extra flour to kind of flour up our bench here because it's a little bit sticky. And then we're just going to split it into 3 balls. This, yes, makes dough for 3 pizzas, and we are going to put that in into either nice deli containers, or you can also put it into a Ziploc baggie, and we're gonna allow that to sit in our fridge for at least 24 hours and up to 5 days. I found that for me, my ideal time for this dough is actually 3 days. So this is my 3-day pizza dough, and that 3 days for me gives it the best texture and flavor. Over that amount of time, we are allowing that yeast to work and activate, and that's gonna give us that really nice flavor that we know and love in a good pizza crust, as well as a really beautiful texture. Okay, so now this looks great. I've got kind of some dough stuck to my fingers. And we are then just going to take this dough and split it into 3 equal balls. You can go ahead and measure this out, but I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it because that's fine. We may just have one slightly bigger piece of pizza and one slightly smaller, okay? There are my deli containers. And now, what did I forget? My bench scraper. I do love to use a bench scraper here to cut my dough up. Let's see, I'm gonna roll this into a little log. We'll go 1, 2, and 3. I'm just grabbing, this one's a little bit large, so I'll cut a little bit off there, add to this guy. There we go, those are about equal. And here, I'm just going to add right into the container. I'm not even gonna roll it into a particular ball because this dough is wet. And so as it grows in the fridge, this is gonna allow it to really just bubble up, grow as large as it wants, so that when we pull this out in 3 days, you will see the dough will have risen all the way to the top, and it will be full of bubbles and all this beautiful flavor and texture. That's all we have to do, everyone. Lids on in the fridge. We're gonna put it in my Sub-Zero for the next 3 days, and in 3 days we'll come back and we will build these pizzas and show you how we use that stone mode in our range. Welcome back. It has been 3 painful days waiting for this dough. It has sat in my Sub-Zero for 3 days, allowing the yeast to really get to work. You can see how much it's risen, the beautiful bubbles. I've smelled it. It smells divine. This is gonna make a fantastic crust. Now that the hardest part, that waiting period, is over, it's time to get baking. Making the pizza. This is what we've all been waiting for, okay? So the first and most important aspect about baking pizzeria style pizza in your own home is the baking portion. Luckily, we are using our Wolf electric oven or dual fuel range, which is what I'm using today, to really replicate that effect. So I'm gonna show you how we get the setup. You want to get this preheating at least an hour in advance before we start baking, okay? So we're gonna take you over to the oven. I'm gonna show you exactly how we set it up. So first things first, when setting up your oven to bake your pizza, you want to remove all other racks from the oven, and then you want to place the Wolf bakestone on the bottom rack. The Wolf bakestone is made of a thick pressed corduroy material, which is a type of ceramic that can handle very, very high heats. That is going to give us the replication of a pizzeria style brick oven, okay? It will come with its own rack, which sits beautifully on the bottom, and then you're gonna close up your oven and we are going to turn it on. So we wanna go to the stone mode. The stone mode, we are then going to set as high as we can, 550 degrees. During the stone mode, every single heating element is turning on in your Wolf oven, as well as both convection fans. This is going to replicate the brick oven style pizzeria, okay? We are going to let this preheat for an hour to get screaming hot, and then we are going to bake our pizza. Okay, oven has been preheating for over an hour. My dough has been resting at room temperature for the same amount of time to soften up and kind of get ready to be stretched. So now we are going to assemble our pizza. So what you need to do is you need to have all of your ingredients prepped and ready to go, because once we start stretching the dough and putting it on the peel to be built, it's like a ticking time bomb. We gotta work quickly or the dough is gonna start sticking, okay? So what we're building today is I'm gonna do a shaved asparagus and Parmesan pizza. So it's very simple, it's light, it's a really nice pizza to do for springtime. And I've got my bench all floured up, ready to go. I've got my pizza peel, which comes with your bakestone, with a layer of semolina flour. That's gonna act as our ball bearing so we can slide the dough right off. And then I've got all my ingredients ready. So here we go, without any further ado. We're gonna just gently coerce our dough out onto the bench. And then you wanna just kind of use your fingertips to gently go around the outside, almost building a little crust, because we all know the crust is everyone's favorite part, okay? So I'm going around both sides, just kind of gently pressing, and then we are going to use our knuckles, not our fingertips, okay? Our knuckles, to just let gravity kind of do its thing. Now this is a nice wet dough, so it's gonna be a little bit harder to work with. You gotta be very, very gentle to prevent any holes from being formed. But you know what, if a hole happens, it's okay. You can just kind of squish the dough back together and it'll still be a beautiful pizza. No one will be the wiser, okay? That looks fantastic, really easy to stretch out. And now we're gonna start building. So here's our peel, semolina flour to act like our little ball bearings. This is one of my tips and tricks for making pizza at home. Build it on the peel. No need to try to be a hero. Build your pizza on the surface and then try to get it somehow onto the pizza peel. It always turns into a mess, okay? You're always just gonna mess it up, and this way it's safe. Build it on the peel, it'll slide right off onto your stone, okay? Just make sure you work quickly and make sure that all your toppings are ready, okay? There we go. So I'm just gonna do a light layer of olive oil over the base. That'll kind of help keep our pizza moist and help it get a nice beautiful browned crust. And then we are going to top with our mozzarella cheese. It's fresh mozzarella that I've torn up with my hand, so you get some fun little different sized pieces of cheese. Makes it kind of interesting. And then I'm gonna top with this shaved asparagus mixture. It's just shaved asparagus. I used a vegetable peeler and a little bit of olive oil and some salt to season it. And then I've got beautifully thinly sliced green onions. I sliced them on the bias so they've got this really nice, beautiful look to them. And then we are going to finish with some shaved Parmigiano Reggiano, and that is our pizza, okay? Quick little rinse of my hands, and now we've got to get this right into the oven. So, open and close as quick as you can, because we don't want to let any of that beautiful heat that we've worked so hard to build up escape. So open, get your pizza on with a gentle tug back. I don't know if you could see how I did that. And it's only gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes to fully cook into a beautiful browned, crusty pizza. Thanks to our stone mode, the Wolf Bakestone kit, and my amazing dough, obviously. So in the next 5 minutes, you guys are gonna see the final product. Okay, pizza's ready to come out, and then I'll show you how we finish topping it, and then I will eat it. Okay, so use your peel again, open your oven, slide it right under. Oh, this guy is stunning. Look at that beauty. Oh, the cheese is browned and bubbly. The asparagus is kind of charred in different parts. It looks delicious, smells even better, okay? So what I'm gonna do to finish this off, a couple extra fresh shaved Parmigiano, a little bit of fresh flat leaf parsley that I've torn up, and I really like the large leaves here. Since this is going for a very green, fresh, bright pizza, I think the large pieces of herbs look gorgeous, okay? As I gently place them on. And finally, a little bit of heat. So we're gonna do some fresh red pepper flakes over the top. That little pop of red is also beautiful, I must say. And that is our finished pizza. I actually have done a second pizza just so you guys can see. This is a roasted grape and goat cheese pizza. We will include that recipe as well, so you guys can have both, but the assembly is about the same as watching this one. So these are our pizzas baked on the stone mode in the Wolf Dual Fuel using the bakestone kit. And make it a friendly pizza Friday party. Hey, see you guys.